stress or burnout or exhaustion or just tiredness that is accumulated in any part of the body. And just how do I know that there is any stress or accumulation of stress in the body? Is it a little bit of tightness in the shoulders? Is it in the neck? Or maybe in the eyebrows or the head? Don't observe any stretch, then there is no stretch. If you have observed stretch, then there is stretch. Just become aware and present. And slowly taking a few deep breaths. Let's just expand, breathe into that part of the body where we feel stretch and relax it further. Breathing in, feel the energy. And breathing out, I feel the relaxation. Breathing in, energy. Breathing out, relaxation. Slowly, we can join the palm of our hands, rub to generate some friction, and slowly we can cup it on our eyes. Feel the warmth of the hands, and slowly moving it down. We can slowly, gently, at our own pace, we can open our eyes. Great. Good evening, everyone.
Huh?
Yes. Everyone, uh, before we start, would love to um, just hear from people how we entering into the space, how we feeling right now. Can unmute and share, and we can type it on the chat. We can just share how are we, uh, yeah, just being in the space right now. How are we feeling? So just saying, relaxed and connected.
Relaxed.
Relaxed. Okay, great. Anyone else? Okay. Um, so the topic of today's Tweekly session is um, discussing a very ancient old idea of Karma Yoga. I think something which, at least living in India, we've heard, uh, if not understood, at least heard it so many times. Um, and seems, but it seems to be very, at least for me, it has been for a long time an idea which was very far. है ना कि कहीं पे कुछ अ, देखा है सुना है लोगों को बात करते हुए बट never really understood what it really meant and what do I do with it in my life. Is it anything something which really makes sense for me or is it something that can help me make my life a little bit more better? And in that exploration kind of found a very strong connection with another idea which we talk about in our life very often, especially when we come to uh, work. And that is something which we hear as burnout or exhaustion so much. And as teachers, as education leaders, it's a lot of it's a theme which is very recurring for all of us. It's a profession where we have to deeply care about um, educators, about learners, and but in the process we find ourselves very exhausted and very burnt out through the process. So as we start today's discussion, let's actually start with some inquiry questions. Let's just um, start by taking a minute to reflect on when I hear the words burnout, what questions arise for me. So let's just be present to the word itself and let's just inquire. Let's just ask myself कि क्या questions आ रहे हैं मेरे. Something that has drawn us to this space to come to know. तो जो मैं burnout वन सुनता हूँ या फिर मैं जब कर्म योग वर्ड सुनता हूँ तो what comes to me, what question comes to me. So let's take a minute to just ask questions and maybe we can take a minute and put it on the chat. जो भी क्वेश्चन इंक्वायरी का आता है or unmute and share. Yeah, shall we do that? Yeah, a thumbs up would be great. Those cameras are off. Amarjit ji, can you hear me? Perfect. Mohita, can you hear me? Okay. Hello Nagasita ma'am, how are you? Perfect. Okay, so let's just take a minute and let's just be with these two words burnout कर्म योग जो भी कनेक्ट करते हैं एक से कनेक्ट करते हैं तो एक पे स्टिक करते हैं. Just write down any inquiry question that is coming for us that we would like to discuss today as a sangha, as a group. Yeah. So we'll take a minute. So for people who have joined, we're writing inquiry questions on जब हम ये दो शब्द सुनते हैं burnout या जब हम कर्म योग शब्द सुनते हैं तो मेरे लिए मेरे मन में क्या सवाल आते हैं इन शब्दों को लेके. उसको हम चैट पे लिख सकते हैं. गुड इवनिंग मैम. उसको हम चैट पे लिख सकते हैं या अनम्यूट करके शेयर कर सकते हैं. सो वी टेकिंग अ मिनट, 1 मिनट ले रहे हैं हम उस पर विचार करने के लिए. या शैल वी शेयर. ना कोई भी एक सवाल है तो एक सवाल भी हो सकता है वो. Okay. Sarabjit ji has shared, why do we feel burnout? Uh, do I only feel burnout or others also feel the same? And how can we overcome such situations? Brilliant. Um, so I am the only one who's feeling burnout at the start of the day. Okay. So is this a question, Amarjit ji, ki am I the only one? um, so burnout and Kalyug signifies overstimulated, highly competitive and externally driven world for me. So question that is arising is why can't we sit with boredom even for a few minutes without reaching out to the phone or any external stimulant? So very beautiful question, Ashima. Ki, for you, burnout का cause result is this overstimulation. So why do we need that stimulation so much? What is the problem with boredom that we feel? For Utsav, the inquiry is ki, what has made this happen and how is the person feeling burnout के context में? What causes burnout and how does it feel when it to be burnout? And in the context of Karma Yoga, yoga in connection with the universe, and Karma Yoga is just connection with Karma or also our being. So what is this Karma Yoga, idea of Karma Yoga, is a question that is coming. For Sanghmitra, the question is, how does burnout different from exhaustion that we encounter ordinarily? Perfect. So beautiful questions of inquiry, and I think this makes us the session for today. These beautiful questions that have come up for us. तो इन्हीं क्वेश्चंस पे हम बात करते हैं, जानते हैं कि लाइक इस संघ के इस ग्रुप की कलेक्टिव विजडम से व्हाट कैन वी अराइव एट some more understanding for each other. So let's start with the idea of burnout itself. कि like what is burnout? Like मेरे लिए burnout का क्या मतलब है, and how have I experienced it in my life? And now let's just think of any memory, any experience जहाँ पे मुझे अपने लिए burnout feel हुआ हो. It can be personal, professional setting, it can be in a school, classroom, or even at home. But let's start with understanding what is burnout for me. मैंने कैसे उसको experience किया है अपनी जिंदगी में. And maybe we'll take a few 2-3 sharings on it to arrive at, is it same, is it different, what is exactly this word that we use so often? Yeah, anyone can share. मैंने कब बर्नआउट एक्सपीरियंस किया, मेरे लिए बर्नआउट का क्या मतलब है, and how have I experienced it?
Okay, maybe I'll share. So, uh, I'll share it on three levels. One is physical. मैं कैसा इसको feel करता हूँ अपने body पे. So, I just feel when I'm feeling that burnout, this area of my head is like heated. इस पे आप डोसा बना सकते हो, ये हालत हो जाती है. So it is totally like fiery. My ears, it feels like वो गर्म हो चुके हैं, and a banging sensation over here. That is the physical form of it. On the emotional, I feel like um, at this particular moment, I just want this task to be finished at any cost and run away. मतलब बच्चे बैग पटक के भागते नहीं है वैसे. I just want to like throw away things and run away and not do anything. At least not think back at what I was doing. वो तो नहीं सोचना मुझे. And again, at a social level, my burnout leads to me going back into a shell. अब मुझे प्लीज छोड़ दीजिए, मुझे सांत्वना देने भी मत आइए, आप मुझे समझाने भी. यू डोंट कम एंड एक्सप्लेन थिंग्स टू मी, यू डोंट ट्राई टू कंसोल मी, कन्विंस मी. You just leave me as I am, and I'll take care of myself. So yeah, I mean, physical, emotional, and social, these are my feelings of burnout.
Very beautiful. जब गैस की प्रॉब्लम आएगी, we'll come to you itself for dosa making. The jokes apart, but yeah, very beautifully put. This you experience at different levels. Socially, there's a disconnection from others that you feel. Physically, बहुत ज़्यादा heat, गर्मी generate होती है, especially in the top part for you. And then uh, uh, there's also an aversion. There's also something to, let's just fly off uh, from the situation from where you are in. Perfect. What about others? बाकी लोगों के लिए कैसा होता है? How have we experienced burnout? The mind feels foggy. Okay. What else?
So I just wanted to share my experience like for burnout. Um, so if it is a physical strain where I can not do any more, maybe I'm so totally stressed of walking, or it is out of my way that I cannot move anymore. So that is the physical strain that I get when I'm walking and doing some activity. Um, um, and coming to the mental stress is suppose many things are going at a time, where uh, suppose if parents and teachers conflict or some situation arises at the same time, some teachers are not attending the classes or something is going on where I really need to submit at the time. And so all multiple things where uh, so many things are on my plate and how I have to handle it, and but finally I have to finish it. And at the time, by the end of the day, that is what for me, it is burnout. um, and yeah, those two. So yeah, sometimes when I just go out with children and my body really does not support, but still I am trying to do that. End of the day, it is a burnout to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So the
Yeah,
body is asking you to do something else, but
that relax. So
yeah,
yeah, but still I'm just working on it. Like I have to physically. There is no excuse, but I have to do it. There is no other go. So that is a burnout where I don't have the option, but just to continue with the flow.
thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing, ma'am.
thank you.
Wonderful. So there's a lot of, yes, Amarjit ji, please.
I feel as a teacher, in case I have gone into this profession, my why should be very clear. Why I have chosen this profession. I should be jumping from my bed in the morning. I should have a cause to go to the school, teach the children in the best possible manner, so that I've got a big and huge responsibility on my shoulder in case I have to prepare for my next generation. So I feel to expect these type of questions from the teachers, I think it is not what should I say? My why should be very clear that really I want to make the changes in the life of the people. And in case I have chosen this profession, then I should be really energetic, enthusiastic from the morning till evening. And only one idea should be going in my head throughout the time, that how can I change the life of the people, those who are under my care every time? How can I take them from this level to this level, sir? So that's my take on it, because maybe this is my experience which is telling me to share this idea with you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Amarjit ji. So what I'm hearing is that to help with the burnout, I think just knowing the why I'm doing something has helped you to stay centered with the activity itself. Perfect. So before we move on to solution, let's just come back and understand. हमने बात की कि there's a lot of physical, emotional, social symptoms, right from the heat getting generated in the body to just the body saying just crashing down, to even, at least for me, it has been a lot of uh, uh, like racing in the heart that I felt during the moments of burnout. Where it was almost like कि भाई मतलब heart attack तो नहीं आ रहा है, पर check कर लेते हैं. Like I literally one time I googled ChatGPT what are the symptoms of heart attack. And it was very tiring, very exhausting, uh, and very stressful to be in that state for all of us. तो ये तो मेरे खुद पे असर है बर्नआउट का. अब हम सब, like a lot of us are in profession where caregivers. In fact, all of us are in profession where we're caregivers in some form or the other, है ना. हम हमारे पास खुद की जिम्मेदारी, हमारे पास बच्चों की जिम्मेदारी है जिनके साथ हम जुड़े हुए हैं, काम कर रहे हैं. तो अपने जीवन में what have I like how I have experienced कि मेरा बर्नआउट मुझे कैसे इफेक्ट करता है समझ में आ रहा है. मेरा बर्नआउट एज एन एजुकेटर कैसे उस प्रोफेशन को इफेक्ट कर रहा है. लेट्स जस्ट फॉर अ मोमेंट थिंक अबाउट एंड शेयर कि जब मैंने बर्नआउट हुआ है उससे हैज इट एनी वे इफेक्टेड माय रोल एज अ टीचर और माय रोल एज एन एजुकेटर इन द क्लासरूम और इन द स्कूल, या मेरे रिश्तों पे, अगर पर्सनल लाइफ में शेयर करना है कि मेरे रिश्तों पे कुछ उसका असर आया है क्या. Okay, so Ashima is sharing that when there's burnout for you, it's an inability, there's an inability to be present with the children. Listening कम हो जाती है, सुनना कम हो जाता है for you. Okay, what else? बाकी लोग एक्सपीरियंस में कह रहा है कि क्या है, मतलब ठीक है, एक तो मेरे पे इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है, मेरे रिलेशनशिप्स में या बच्चों के साथ कैसे वो दिखता है प्ले होते हुए जब बर्नआउट सिचुएशन होती है. इरिटेशन है, slashing out onto others. Okay.
Maybe I become judgmental. Every question coming, every statement coming from students would feel like they are teasing me. They are meant to do something else. To mat bolo. So yeah, having judgments unnecessary in my mind.
Right. Very interesting. So there's a lot of judgment that comes. तो छोटी सी बात ट्रिगर कर देती है हमें, जो पहले शायद नहीं करती calmer state में.
Yes.
Right. You shrink mentally, emotionally, physically too, like a cocoon, inability to associate with others. You know, so बहुत ज़्यादा disconnect हम feel करते हैं, वो connection की ability lose हो जाती है ना. Again, similarly, connection, compassionate नहीं हो पाते हैं, and further affects the quality of the work that we do. Right. So clearly, there's a lot of effect that this sensation, this feeling of burnout has on us and on the relationships around us and on the people that we care around us, including children, education space. So the question comes, if this is what is uh, then what is the reason why do we really face burnout? हम तो अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं ना, मतलब तो दुनिया बदलने के लिए आए होंगे टीचिंग प्रोफेशन, एटलीस्ट मैं तो ये सोच के आया था. then what is it that makes this so hard for us and for people around us? वो क्या चीज है जो उसको टफ बना रही है, ये बर्नआउट की सिचुएशन लेके आ रही है?
Sir, we can compare this with our mobile phone, which we put every day on the charging set. And in case we charge in the early morning up to these full parameters, I think the whole day we keep using it. And at the end of the day, you feel that hardly 2, 3, 5% battery is left out. And in case we continue using it the same fashion, then it is causing for a burnout. Therefore, it's high time that we must put it back on the charging set, plug in, so that we can replenish the drain out energy. And then next day when we get up, we get up with the same enthusiasm and same energy. I think that is the best similarity we can draw between the mobile phone, which is we are using every day, and our life. Over to you.
वंडरफुल. सो एक चार्जिंग फोन की तरह वो डिस्चार्ज हो रहा है और चार्ज नहीं हो पा रहा है. सो द क्वेश्चन
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So can I share? Yeah. So when I feel drained out, I think I won't be in a position to listen more, or the quality of work also might be not that great, maybe. So even if someone try to speaks to me, maybe I think because of the frustration and all, rather than being a listener and trying to understand their perspective, simply I think it will be more like an argument or so. So I think at the time, if I come to realize that what am I doing, then I need to calm down, and then, you know, so it takes for me to that level where, because being a principal, or rather than trying to understand from their perspective, will go down, or it is just going to be a heated argument also. So yeah, I think that will be the very worst part of being a burnout situation.
तो ये सिम्टम्स हमें दिख रहे हैं बहुत क्लियरली कि मुझे इफेक्ट कर रहा है, मेरे काम को इफेक्ट कर रहा है, बच्चों के साथ मेरी इंटरेक्शंस को इफेक्ट कर रहा है. तो ये हो क्यों रहा है? मतलब वन इज की श्योर वी आर नॉट चार्जिंग इट, बट व्हाई आर वी नॉट चार्जिंग इट? लाइक व्हाट इज उसमें रुकावट क्या है, क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं, या क्यों वो बर्नआउट तक आने दे रहे हैं खुद को? व्हाट इज इट दैट इज रियली हैपनिंग that is causing this burnout so much? Yes, Utsav.
I think I'll add to Amarjeet ji's example, very interesting analogy of phone. So and also if I'm a phone, I am made to do certain things, but at certain level. If I'm made to be a PUBG game, PUBG phone, I'll have that kind of setting. Or if I'm just made to have a phone call or just to watch movies. But if a simple phone or a phone that was meant to do a little bit of everything is robustly used for something that it is not meant to be done. So even if as an educator, I am doing things that I am not connecting a lot to, or sometimes working hard adds on to your inspiration or to your excitement, तो वो काम में मजा आता है. So you give 200%. But when you are doing something that is draining you out because you're not connecting to it, at that point, even as an educator or someone who came to change things, I feel like no, I'm not doing what I wanted to do, and hence it is burning me out a lot.
Got it. So one of the things is कि there's some external factors to it कि अगर काम से मैं कनेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, पर्पस से मैं कनेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, तो वहाँ पे एक बर्नआउट की फीलिंग आती है. मेक सेंस. द क्वेश्चन इट कम्स इज इट ऑलवेज द केस, और देयर आर आल्सो केसेस जहाँ पे लाइक आई एम रियली नो व्हाई आई एम डूइंग समथिंग, मुझे व्हाई भी क्लियर है, बट डज जस्ट द अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ व्हाई इज गुड इनफ टू प्रिवेंट बर्नआउट. जैसे मुझे पता है कि भाई बच्चों के लिए मैं कर रहा हूँ, एंड यू नो दिस अ लॉट ऑफ जॉय आई गेट इन इट, एंड आई एम लाइक रियली इन्वेस्टेड इन इट. विल इट गारंटी देन मुझे बर्नआउट नहीं हो रहा है? So there's something at play here, right? So what is it that that is creating this feeling of burnout? So Sarji,
Yeah.
yeah, please, Jasmeet.
Sorry, I'm just keeping the camera off. So one of the things that I've noticed with a colleague of mine, somebody I work with very closely, is that for him, even though he's very invested in the idea or the purpose of the work that he's doing, there are 2, 3 things that lead to burnout. And I think the other word for burnout for him is anxiety. And one is the a constant worry of what happens next and not being able to see that. So a lot of stress with that. A lot of doubt about himself, which then leads to even more judgment and more worry. And I mean, for want of a better word, it's just a lot of unsurety of what to do. So there are certain areas that he has expertise in, so he's able to take those decisions. But anything other than that, it's at a moment of stress, at a moment of high pressure, literally being able to shut down, literally shutting down, and not being able to find ways to emotionally and socially and in every ways make sense of the reality and move forward, or even to take decisions for what needs to be done.
Wonderful. So very interesting perspective Jasmeet ने दिया है कि there are 2 different things at play. उसको कई बार मिक्स कर देते हैं काम के अंदर. One is the action itself of doing, and the other is the thinking or the thought that goes before and after the doing. जिसको I think the words that Jasmeet was using was worry a lot of times and doubt. So there's a physical part of, let's say I'm talking, then there's some bit of obviously energy I'm using into it, but there's also an energy of oh अब मैंने बोल दिया, अब इनको अच्छा लगा नहीं लगा मेरी बात सुन के, अब इन्होंने इस पर रिस्पॉन्ड किया नहीं किया, ओ मैंने अच्छे से बताया नहीं बताया क्या इस चीज के बारे में, लाइक इज इट मेकिंग सेंस, ओ मैंने ऐसे क्यों बोला, इसको मैं ऐसे बोलता तो वो मेरी शायद बात मान लेता. Like there's a lot of that thinking, and there's a lot of investment that is going into, and a very unconscious investment that is going into that not planning really, but that just random thinking about the future and the past, and about my own competence, the self-doubt that is creating a lot of those energy drops within ourselves. And it is this which further like डिप्लीट्स आर एनर्जी, हमारी और एनर्जी कम हो जाती है, बिकॉज एक तो काम करने की एनर्जी है, उसके बाद उस पे वो हुआ नहीं हुआ उसको सोचने की, उसके रिजल्ट्स को सोचने की एनर्जी है, उसकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस की एनर्जी है. आई थिंक सर्जी इज आल्सो वेरी ब्यूटीफुल रिटन, वी आर आल्सो अनएबल टू मीट आवर ओन एक्सपेक्टेशंस फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम. सो लाइक दैट आल्सो लीड्स टू अ लॉट ऑफ बर्नआउट कि मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि मुझे इससे रिकॉग्निशन मिलेगी या कुछ इसका इसका एक फ्रूट अचीव होगा, एंड नॉट मीटिंग दैट एंड थिंकिंग अबाउट दैट creates a lot of burnout. That processing is getting quiet. So let's just be with this thought, and let's just try and see if is it something from our ancient tradition, is there any idea that we can pick up and see if it makes sense for us in a real world, as people, as educators, as parents, as caregivers and as human beings, this idea of ancient idea of Karma Yoga, which talks about this actually this action and result, जो fruits के form में बोलते हैं. So is there something that I can learn from it? So we'll watch a small video for 10 minutes. Mohita, if you can play it for all of us. It's a very simple story. हमने जैसे generally कर्मयोग के बारे में कहाँ सुना है usually? Like which text have we heard of in?
भगवत गीता.
भगवत गीता में, है ना? So ये भगवत गीता की स्टोरी नहीं है. एक्चुअली महाभारत से आता है. महाभारत में 2 बार कर्मयोग पे बात आती है. एक आती है भगवत गीता में और उसके बाद आती है व्याद गीता में. So this is actually a very small story जो बहुत कम known है. Is again a story from Mahabharat after which is called Vyad Gita. So yeah, Mohita, if you can just share.
I think sound isn't shared, Mohit.
Worshipped and practiced to a forest. There he meditated, worshipped and practiced Hatha Yoga. After years of hard work and a long time ago, a sannyasi went to a forest. There he meditated, worshipped and practiced Hatha Yoga for a long time. After years of hard work and practice, one day he was sitting under a tree when some dry leaves fell upon his head. He looked up and saw a crow and a crane fighting on the top of the tree, which made him very angry. He sharply glanced at them and the birds burned to ashes. He was delighted with his own power, what he has gained with his meditation. He could burn down the crow and a crane with a mere glance. Sometime later, he went to the town for begging his alms. He went, stood by a hut and said, "Mother, give me food." A lady's voice came from inside the house. "Wait, my son, I am busy." The young sannyasi thought, how dare she makes me wait? She doesn't know my power set. Just then he heard the lady's voice telling him, "Boy, don't think too much of yourself. I am neither a crow nor a crane." He was shocked. Finally, the lady came out and he fell at her feet. The sannyasi said, "Mother, how did you know about the crow and the crane?" The lady said, "My boy, I do not know the powers and the practices of your yoga. I am a simple woman. I made you wait because my husband is ill and I was nursing him. All my life, I have focused only on my duty. But by doing my duty, I have become illumined. Thus, I could read your thoughts and know what you have done in the forest. If you want to know something higher than this, then go to the market in the next town and find the Vyadha the butcher. He will enlighten you further." The sannyasi went to the market in the next town and found an obese Vyadha chopping the meat. The young sannyasi was shocked again. He thought, "Oh Lord, help me. Is this the man from whom I am going to learn? This ugly butcher looks like the incarnation of a demon." In the meantime, the Vyadha looked up and said, "Oh Swami, did that noble lady send you here? Kindly give me a little time to finish my duties." After the Vyadha finished his work, he took the sannyasi to his home. He freshened up, fed his old parents and came to the sannyasi and said, "Swamiji, you have come all the way here to see me. What can I do for you?" The sannyasi asked him questions about life, soul and about God. And Vyadha gave him a detailed sermon which forms a part of the epic Mahabharata called the Vyad Gita. It contains one of the highest flights of the Vedanta. When the Vyadha finished his teaching, the sannyasi felt mesmerized. He said, "With such divine knowledge, why are you doing such a filthy work of a butcher?" The Vyadha replied that no duty is filthy, no duty is impure. In this birth, I am placed in the circumstances that demand of me to do my duty as a Vyadha, and I try to do my duty to the best of my abilities without any attachment. I feel that This is the ultimate story that portrays Karma Yoga.
Great. So, like a very, very interesting story on simple action and Karma Yoga. And you can maybe share whatever came to us while seeing the video. किसी भी चीज के साथ मैंने रेजोनेट किया हो वीडियो के अंदर.
Can I?
I'll wait Utsav for someone else. Otherwise, you can share. Yeah, anyone else like to share? कुछ भी जो भी कनेक्ट किया हो. Okay, Utsav, you can go ahead.
Maybe if I would have shared 5-6 more times, you would know that ये इंसान share करने वाला है, and that connects to the Karma Yoga. So a teacher understands students' face. They can read students' face because they do this every day, consistently, again and again with those humans. And when they look at them without saying, they can read what is happening. And I think that came to my mind, that how that lady could understand, or that butcher could understand through the everyday consistent karma that they are doing. They have evolved. And similarly, an educator evolves through that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Whatever came from the idea of Karma Yoga from the video, or from your own experiences with karma. Duty is the most sacred part of life. Yes, Nancy.
Like I felt like, whatever work we are doing or whatever that we are focusing on, just to focus only on that, and the rest, not to think too much about the rest of the consequences related to what others think, or the duty or the service that we are doing is our priority, and not about the rest of the consequences related to it. Like that only makes us overthink, like or meeting someone's expectations, or when we are focused on our priorities or our work. I think that is what, that is the highest priority rather than the rest of the things. I felt that. Not able to hear your audio voice.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. So looks like a very easy concept, है ना? कि ठीक है, let's focus on the work and let's not think about the results. And yeah, the brain will occupy less work and will not burnout कम होगा. Simple तो है. तो what is the challenge in doing this? अगर ये हो ही रहा तो बहुत easy था. सुन के logically लग तो रहा है कि हाँ burnout शायद नहीं होगा. Life थोड़ी simple हो जाएगी. But then are we able to practice this? If yes, how? If not, why not? Like what comes inhibits us in actually practicing this? Ki just focus on the work, don't think too much about the results. What is it that is coming in the way for it?
The other conditions or the influences that are disturbing the work is causing the drain, or no, it's causing the stress or the frustration. Suppose for a teacher, like to handle all things at a time, or when she's planned, and always some things are happening in the classroom, and maybe suddenly where the teacher is not prepared to handle all these such things, that causes, or the home conditions, or she's worried about those things, and again carrying that even to the classroom, and maybe all that XY things factors are causing the burnout, where I think that need to be reduced and only
Yes.
focus on what they are doing.
Very interesting. So there is uncertainty
Yeah.
that, like, there are some variables we can change. Okay, I can prepare the PPT, I can prepare the material, but how a children is, in which mood are they in, which period was before the class, and बहुत सारे variables हैं जो हमारे control में नहीं है,
Yeah.
and that, because they are unpredictable, therefore the result is unpredictable, and that is causing the burnout. है ना? तो
Yeah.
वो unpredictability is creating challenge. But then how do we work through it? What is the challenge in actually practicing the simple idea कि ठीक है, फिर मतलब छोड़ते हैं, unpredictability तो रहेगी लाइफ में ना, वो तो खत्म कर नहीं सकते हैं, तो करें क्या? मतलब how do we practice this simple idea of just this, like, challenge क्या है इसको करने में? And this is for everyone else. Yeah, please do share. क्या लगता है कि simple है, कर्म करते हैं, कर्म के फल की चिंता नहीं करते हैं? Like, what is the problem? Okay, lack of sincerity of dedication of people. But उससे मेरा कर्म, मतलब मेरे कर्म, मतलब मेरी एंजाइटी रिजल्ट्स को लेके कैसे हम कम करें, लेके कैसे उसके बारे में सोचें?
maybe he's also talking in the sense कि मान लो हमने एक टीम गोल सेट किया है, तो गोल सेट तो कर दिया, तो बाकी लोग उस गोल के लिए उतना डेडिकेशन और एफर्ट से काम नहीं कर रहे हैं जितना शायद मैं कर रही हूँ, तो फिर वो गोल अचीव नहीं होगा। और एज एजुकेटर्स हम अक्सर ये बात भी करते हैं कि गोल्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, हमें गोल्स अपने आगे रखने चाहिए, उससे हमें मोटिवेशन भी मिलती है कि हम उन गोल्स की तरफ काम करें। पर वो गोल पूरे नहीं होने की वरी, या वो गोल फॉल हो जाएगा अगर सब लोग अच्छे से डेडिकेटेडली काम नहीं करेंगे, तो वो वरी बीच में आ जाती है। तो ये चैलेंज रहता है। हाउएवर, हाँ, हम गोल से बहुत ज्यादा अटैच हो रहे हैं, उसके कि उसके आउटकम से भी अटैच हो रहे हैं कि मान लो हमने कहा है कि 10th तारीख तक ये वाला इवेंट हो जाएगा, तो अगर ये इवेंट नहीं होता है तो हम उस आउटकम से भी अटैच हो रहे हैं कि ये इवेंट हो जाएगा, तो ये गोल सेट किया था, इवेंट करना है, अगर इवेंट नहीं नहीं हुआ या हो गया तो ये उसका जो आउटकम है होना इवेंट अच्छे से, उससे भी बहुत अटैचमेंट है, तो परेशानी होगी, पर ये बहुत मुश्किल है।
Very interesting, Martha. So what you're sharing is there is a lot of attachment with the result and the outcome to come in a certain way, and वो बहुत बार वो ड्राइव करता है वो एंजाइटी को, वो ओवर थिंकिंग को, विच फर्दर लीड्स टू बर्न आउट। तो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है, बिकॉज कई बार, लाइक, एटलीस्ट बचपन से मैंने जो बहुत सुनता आया हूँ कि लाइक हाउ कर्मयोग इज प्रेजेंटेड और इट इज एक्सप्लेन्ड इज कि अच्छा कर्म करो, फल की इच्छा मत करो। And I think that, at least for me, has caused a lot of confusion, because I'm doing something because doing this, it is being done because there's something else to be achieved, and therefore इसलिए वो करना है. And I think when I went to the course Shloka from the Gita where Karma Yoga was introduced, I went and actually read the transliteration कि actually word by word मतलब क्या है उसका. So I'll just read it out. कर्मण्ये वाधिकारस्ते माँ कलेषु फदाचना माँ कर्म फल हेतुर्भुर माँ ते संगो स्वकर्मणि. सो कर्मण अधिकारे वारस्ते, मेरा कर्मों पे, तुम्हारा कर्मों पे अधिकार है. यू हैव द राइट टू डू, टू एक्ट. माँ कलेषु फदाचना, but you don't have the right, you don't have the entitlement on the fruits. And I think do not let the results drive your motivation or demotivation, but also don't be attached to inaction itself. So very interestingly, I think what Karmi is not talking about that fruits के बारे में मत सोचो, but yeah, या प्लान मत करो, बिकॉज देन इट क्वेश्चन कम्स कि फिर प्लानिंग ही बंद कर देते हैं फिर तो. बट आई थिंक टू जस्ट लिव, टू process, we have to act. But I think what it talks about is adhikar. So I think the key word in Karma Yoga that is important to Karma Yoga, at least that I've seen, is understanding this word called adhikar. इसको इंग्लिश में entitlements बोलते हैं. कि we have the adhikar to the action but not to the fruit, because this always we feel the sense of, carry the sense of entitlement. Oh, I have to feel a certain way. I should always feel pleasure. I should not feel pain. I should always get what I want. I should always, if I teach, the children should learn the way what I have taught. And this always the sense of entitlement. I have told someone to do something, they should do that work, right? And it's just so funny because this is not how life works. Right? The entitlement is never with the result. All we can make is actual request. In fact, one of our dear friend shared that all that we can do in life is, what's the word? Prastav. Yeah. All that we can do is actually a prastav. The whole, yeah, हर चीज को प्रस्ताव की तरह देखना है. All I can do is actually ask you to do something. Whether you do it or not do it is your choice to do it. I can make it entertaining and make it exciting enough for you to come and attend it. But वो choice तो बहुत सारे factors पर dependent है ना. All I can do is try my best to create that space, that environment for learning and doing the best I can do. So that's something which I think, at least for me, has really helped in understanding this idea of Karma Yoga, of seeing it as entitlement. Are we entitled to the action or are we entitled to the fruits? किस चीज को हम अधिकार की तरह देख रहे हैं कि मेरा अधिकार है इस पे. And that becomes very, very important when you understand Karma Yoga. Any thoughts, any questions arising for anyone, or any challenges, or any सुझाव के मेरे लिए ये workout किया है when I talk about uh, uh, just doing things effortlessly, or just helping with this idea of burnout. Anything that has worked for us to build this sense.
I think we should have a disciplined and very structured life for the one full day. And when we have compartmentalized the thing over there, okay, from 5 to 6 I'll do this thing, 6 to 7 I'll do this thing. And I think we have to live in a disciplined life, only then it will be possible to achieve the result at the end of the day. अगर वो नहीं कर रहे हैं हम, तो फिर हम अपना रिजल्ट की कामना ना करें उसके ऊपर जो है. तो मेरा एक यही टेक अवे यही रहेगा कि हम अपनी लाइफ को एक बड़े स्ट्रक्चर तरीके से जीने का प्रयास करें, ताकि हमारे सारे काम जो है अच्छे और सुंदर तरीके से होते जाएं और हम एंड में उसको बर्नआउट ना फील करें. बट ये ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, एट माई एज आई कैन टेल यू, certainly large number of people, I think I can see they are in their 30s and 40s, they are going to feel that burnout. And that's my take on this topic.
Thank you so much, sir. So sharing from experience, what you shared is आपके लिए making sure that you're creating a disciplined life with their spaces that you're creating, and I'm assuming उस spaces में आपने खुद के लिए भी time दिया होगा. जहाँ पे you're also giving that time to rest, to rejuvenate, to take a pause from thinking and planning and just being, and that has worked for you, that discipline of creating spaces for different things. Anyone else? मेरे लिए क्या workout किया है? Yes, Kritika.
So I think I've been connected with some of the other meditation practice for the last more than a decade, I would say. And it has really, really helped me to create that space between my thoughts, or between those heavy working hours wherein my brain is feeling that fog. These for the last one decade, one practice which is of heartfulness meditation, उसमें cleaning की एक practice होती है. तो क्लीनिंग की प्रैक्टिस से जब जैसे ही मैं 5-10 मिनट बैठती हूँ, तो वो सारा कुछ मेल्ट होने लगता है और धीरे धीरे मैं अपने माइंड में फिर रहती ही नहीं हूँ. और एंड दैट होल्ड ओवर दैट ईगो एलिमेंट व्हिच एक्चुअली थिंक्स दैट मैं करता हूँ, उसकी ग्रिप भी लूजन होती चली जाती है. एंड आई एक्चुअली गेट इनटू दैट स्टेट ऑफ एनर्जी. तो उसमें फिर लगता ही नहीं, ऐसा लगता है कि सब तो you're just merging with everything around you, and I think that has really helped me a lot from getting into that headspace to heart space. Yeah.
खा लेती तो अच्छा होता। अचार दें क्या?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Kritika. So for you, having some mindfulness practices, meditation practices help you give a space to yourself, जिसने वो help किया है to come to a state of burnout. और किसी के लिए कोई practices जो काम करी हैं burnout के लिए, क्या ये चीज़ मैंने किया इससे मुझे help किया burnout बचने के लिए, या just to recharge my phone, personal cell phone. Any practices, छोटी भी हो सकती हैं.
So I do agree with Kritika that meditation do helps, and taking a pause and those breathing techniques and all, which calms down the brain and helps us to accept, because things which are not in our control, especially, uh, will help us to overcome that anxiety. So recently we just had can I share it?
Hey, please go ahead.
So when we were having the annual day celebrations and everything was minute to minute planned, and suddenly when the chief guest and everyone did, the time was delayed than the expected time. So which was not under our control. So then it delayed. So have to accept that, because some things which are not under our control, we cannot do anything or think more. We have to accept that yes, our children will be going late and everything is delayed. So yeah, at that time, that calmness and all, I think it really helped, instead of thinking too much and that anxiety and all, again, that's going to affect our health. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Very interesting sharings that people are doing. So travel has helped. In fact, मेरे को बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगा, because मैंने हमेशा ट्रैवल को ऐसे ब्लॉक की तरह सोचा है कि यार एक बार मतलब जम के काम करेंगे, फिर 6 महीने में एक बड़ा सा एक ट्रैवल प्लान करेंगे. And I just felt that when I started integrating travel or any space as more regular and more frequent, it suddenly helps a lot more. So that traveling generally helps. Music for some sports, reading, disconnecting with one part of my life, work and emotion another part. So not hooking onto one thing. तो एक ही चीज को एंकर ना बना लेना, but multiple anchors रखना. That has helped just me. Sangmitra shared that I think acceptance of reality as it is helps. To allow yourself to feel frustrated, angry, sad helps. To acknowledge those feelings and let ourselves really feel those emotions helps overcome. बहुत ही beautiful. So Sangmitra essentially कह रही हैं कि sometimes you also feel frustration with being frustrated. है ना? So it's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel drained. It's okay to feel angry or sad. And I think just giving the space for that feelings to arise and just acknowledge कि हाँ आज अभी मैं थका हुआ हूँ, also helps in just reducing the thakan. So very counterintuitive, but yeah, seen it work. Thank you so much for sharing and bringing that out, Sangmitra. To travel, maybe even a place even on weekends helps overcome with breakdown. Thank you, Pratisha, for sharing. Sarji ji, आप कुछ share कर रहे थे? You had raised your hand. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay, ठीक है. So very quickly, I think we'll just wrap up in another quick 5 minutes. If we can just share one or two things that, like one thing that came for us, any takeaway that came for us in this entire 1 hour conversation we've been doing about burnout, become you. कोई भी एक चीज, एक idea, something that I'm going away with from the session. Maybe we can take a few sharings. I can type it or unmute and share. So as people are reflecting, I think what has come up is that in this profession of caregiving, it's also important to take into account one more key stakeholder, which is our own self. So we are also a caregiver and also the person to be taken care of. And it's important that as we're taking care of children and other relationships in life, we also take care of our own self and create that space for enriching and creating the space of silence for ourselves and connecting with our own self. Because when we connect with us, I think we a better chance of connecting with deeply with others. So Nagasita ma'am shared that pausing and restarting is something that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Anyone else? Yeah, maybe all of us can just put it on the chat. Whatever one thing, one idea, maybe one practice that we like to start. If you can just share on the chat, it'll just help make it more concrete. Okay, for Amajit, the why should be more clear. This was stood out for you. What about others? Let's just take a minute to write because it's writing it makes it more concrete. और वो दृढ़ बनाता है. तो कोई भी एक आइडिया या कोई भी एक प्रैक्टिस जो मैं चाहूंगा स्टार्ट करना या कोई भी आइडिया जो मुझे क्लिक किया हो. So मोहिता के लिए being part of different communities and holding things lightly, acknowledging the present as it is and creating self time. तो खुद के लिए टाइम देना जो मुझे जॉय दे, वो मोहिता के लिए स्टैंड आउट किया. Perfect. Unlearn old habits and things and then proceed with it. For Ayushi. In fact, holding things lightly is a very beautiful phrase.
अब तुम लोग को मैं एक बात बता देते, देखो मेरे यहाँ कॉकरोच नहीं है.
So, there's a very good spiritual master called Rinpoche. He shares a very beautiful phrase. Don't give up, but let it go. Like, let it go, but don't give up. So it's important to hold this idea of abhyas and vairagya together. It's like two sides of a cart, right? Sides of a cart, and there has to be delicate balance of doing the abhyas, but also having some form of detachment with the outcome that comes with it. So holding it gently, holding it lightly, not holding it too tight. Because anything we hold too tight start giving a lot of pain. So just holding it gently and lightly. Beautiful phrase. So I'm taking away how real and relatable the concept of burnout is for all of us. It's not just unusual, there are ways to address it. Pratyusha, what's the term for what exactly is the question? Abhyasa and Vairagya is the question. Oh, okay. So it's Abhyas and Vairagya. So Abhyas is action, the doing, and Vairagya is a little detachment. So doing it, but with a little bit of detachment. So holding these two paradoxical ideas together is the key. So I think we'll end with a very beautiful. I think a lot of us talked about duty. So I was just watching a video by Sir Priyananda ji, Swami Sir Priyananda ji, very well versed with Advaita philosophy. और उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा बोला कि गांधी जी से बोलते हैं वर्क इज वर्शिप, हम बचपन से सुनते हैं. उन्होंने बहुत ही इसको सिंपल एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया कि जब हम मंदिर जाते हैं तो हम मंदिर किस लिए जाते हैं? हम मंदिर पूजा के लिए जाते हैं. जब मंदिर जाते हैं तो साथ में प्रसाद मिलता है. तो मंदिर हम प्रसाद के लिए जा रहे हैं या पूजा के लिए जा रहे हैं, वो बहुत जरूरी है. So just seeing the work as a puja, as worship, as duty with its own merit, and not getting attached to the prasad. Prasad comes it as a prasad. आज खिचड़ी मिली, आज दली मिला, आज कच्चे चावल मिल गए. But taking it as a prasad and just being involved in the act of duty. And with that, thank you so much everyone for sharing in and connecting for this week's Tweekly. We'll be connecting in the third week of the first and third week. So the next month, first Thursday of the month, we'll again come back and connect. And I'll just again remind, I think we're cohort for the TLP of program for the next year. The teacher leadership program the applications are open. So if there's anyone of you or anyone of your known in the teacher community is looking to grow as teacher leaders, build teacher communities, learning communities, so feel free to reach out. And if you have any questions, just connect on the WhatsApp. We'll again float the message. And thank you so much, everyone, and see you in the next weekly session. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, Ram.
Thank you, Majiji. Yeah. So Mohit has shared a link to the brochure for the teacher leader program. Feel free to check it out.